and harmonization is key. Cooperation between Africa and Africa, between Africa and Europe through the journeys. Secondly, we are looking at harmonization of higher education. As you can remember, the East African community, came up with the Common Higher Education Area Protocol some years back. And therefore, that protocol demands that we harmonize our higher education within the region. And therefore, the discussions that we have in here today, up to Thursday, will be also focused towards how do we harmonize, how do we keep on harmonizing our programs, our research, and our community outreach, to make sure that in East Africa, if I started learning in Moranga University of Technology where I am, I can easily move at second year to another university within East Africa, seamlessly. And that is one of the discussions that we are taking here in this field.
But let me just ask you about the harmonization. What happens with courses which over the years they disappear, or a course that says offered here in Kenya, and you want to do around the same thing, but it's not offered in another EAHE country? What happens?
Disappearing meaning that it misses students completely?
Yes, so the course,
and therefore
it's scrapped off.
One of the main things that make courses lose to get enrollment for students is mainly the issue of specialization very low. The Commission for University Education in Kenya and within East Africa, also the other commissions and councils, have made it as a policy and a standard that we don't specialize at bachelor's level. And that way, therefore, when we have broad-based bachelors, it means that it is not easy for that program to die off. We have seen over the years that some students are not interested in, let's say, programs that are too much specialized at lower level. And that is what brings the death. And therefore, with our membership, we are saying, as you develop a curriculum, can you first of all get to know what the stakeholders are telling you? What are the needs of the stakeholders before development of any program? And then once you get to know the needs of your stakeholders now, translate those needs into a curriculum. That way, a curriculum will not die midway. But if it dies midway, then the commissions within East Africa have always made it a must that universities must make sure that the students are admitted within a particular program must complete the courses.
Mr. President, just a reminder to our question.
Yes.
Maybe what happens in a situation whereby a private university gets more admission than a public university? For instance, this year there was an issue between EPU and PC University. PC University is funded by taxpayers, but NKU is a private university. Why should it get more admission than PC University?
You see, though we are the president of the East African network, and therefore I don't want to mostly get into the Kenyan, but what I know is that the model that we have from COOPS allows students to select where they want to study. And given that, therefore, it is the students who will always have their first choice taken. So it doesn't mean that those students who are placed within a particular private university were pushed there. It is them who selected that. Those who were pushed or were selected in another public university, they are the ones who picked those programs within that university. And therefore, the issue of being placed in a university nowadays, it's the student first, other things later.
My last question, what are some of the specific
at the University of Dar es Salaam? When you get there, you're not given any programs. But also as part of the East African community, what that means is that once you qualify here, you can actually go and get a job in another country because your qualifications are recognized there without any problem. And the idea is that we don't only build that interoperability, if you like, or mutual recognition, comparability, not only for the East African region, but we extend that even outside. That's why when you go to the room there, you see there are also Germans, and there's also people from the European Union, because higher education must be seen in a global context. So we are not just educating for purposes of just the region here, but for the international market. But before we go to the international market, we have to make sure that the quality is good and fit for our region here. So this time here, this network meets many times. I mean, every year actually, it meets in a different country, and every year there's a different theme. And this particular year, they are talking about advancing higher education through internationalization, networking, and that kind of a thing. So that we are bringing people together and by education. So we're using education to bring about. But at the same time, we want to internationalize. You know, internationalization is an aspect of quality assurance. If you go to your village primary school, and then you go to a university in your village, and then you work in your village, that's not very good. It is good that you're exposed to other people. And you can be exposed that through the curriculum, you can be exposed through the teachers, or you can be exposed that through the teachers, through the students that you study with. So part of this network that you see here is also to encourage movement of students in the East African region. And when they do that, we hope that contributes to quality of higher education.
I want to say on the issue of credit transfer, there was an issue regarding Ugandan universities, especially Kampala University. Was it resolved? Can someone transfer credit from Uganda to a Kenyan university?
It should be able. As long as that university is accredited in Uganda, the National Council for Higher Education will be here on Wednesday. So if you would like to follow this up, they have just be here on Wednesday. But if a program is accredited by the National Council for Higher Education in Uganda, and that university is also accredited, that student or anybody who graduates from there should be able to come with that credit to a university here in Kenya, and also accredited and the program accredited.
Then does this regional networking program involve also private universities, or it's only public?
No, it's for everyone.
For everyone.
For quality assurance, as far as we are concerned in the region, a university is a university. Whether it's private or public, it doesn't matter. I think that's why in this country, you remember when the institution that I had, it used to be called Commission for Higher Education. And then they changed it to Commission for University Education. When it was Commission for Higher Education, it looked at only private universities. But we realized
that we shall follow. Today, as I say, we are discussing on how we can come up with a center of excellence in artificial intelligence. But before that, we are planning for capacity building of our professors on how to use the artificial intelligence in teaching and learning. So it is a process and it is moving very fast. So we are trying to catch up, and we hope we will be able to make it before it is too late.
Picked those people who are trained from universities. So we were given a training on how, first of all, you can develop the policy on quality assurance, how you are supposed to get the structures in place, that is the quality assurance director, the coordinators, and the way they are supposed to operate. And lastly, on how to budget and make sure that operations of quality assurance are also taken care of when it comes to financing of higher education. Now, in 2012, if you remember, the Universities Act came into place. The Universities Act brought now all the universities within Kenya within the purview of the Commission for University Education. In East Africa, the same happened. There was change in the law to make sure that quality assurance was backed by the law. So legislation changed. And therefore, from that particular time, now EAHE, the body that I'm the president of, now got the legal mandate to make sure that we push the VCs to bring on board quality assurance in higher education. So that is what we have done so far. I was elected as the president of EAHE last year in September. The time we get in, I was elected in Bujumbura, that is in Burundi. When we got in, we decided that as a new leadership, we want to increase our visibility. We want to make sure that universities feel our presence. So what we have decided to do, and one of the major achievements that we have done as now the current leadership, is that we have decided to be engaging our members on quarterly basis through webinars to discuss how to promote quality assurance and change the culture of quality assurance in institutions. As you are aware, whenever there is a change of the way of doing something, there is always resistance. And therefore, some vice chancellors, some lecturers, some stakeholders are still, in a way, resisting what the changes that came out of this training are brought. But as